What's up, everybody? My name's Bear with Bear Independent and .com and the YouTube things. I get this question constantly, and that's a pretty good indicator that I ought to do this video. The question is, in one form or another, some form or fashion, how do I form a prepper group? Bear, you've got a great group. You've got a tribe. How do I get one of those? I've had this talk, not to exaggerate, with at least 24 people on the phone in the last few months, patrons and clients. How do I form a group? A prepper group, a MAG, a mutual assistance group, a team, or a tribe. My group of people that when the world ends, man, I've got some people to work with, right? Well, I'm gonna give you a 3-step process here. It's the same thing that I tell all the people. It's tremendous. So here's the deal. Step 1, you gotta find the people. This seems to be where most people get hung up. Well, where do I find people? Okay, where do you hunt deer? In their natural habitat, right? You go to where they are, right? You look for food sources, you look for water sources, and then you look for cover, and that creates a habitat, and then you monitor the way that they carry themselves, right? They are creatures of habit. And then you look for tracks, and then you look for proof of life that they've been there, rubs and scat and so forth and so on. It's like stalking game. Where do you find preppers? Go to where the preppers are, okay? Here's the thing too, is a lot of people, and I was guilty of this at the North Texas Mutual Assistance Group, NTX MAG. People wonder why my email account is NTX MAG, the North Texas Mutual Assistance Group. This channel was called NTX MAG 18 months ago because, things spiral out of control, and here we are. I built a channel around looking for people in North Texas to do life with. But we tend to, I want Jim from church and Bill from work and Susie from the bridge club. That's who I want in my team. Okay, you can recruit people specifically, but you need to be very careful, because this is the trouble I ran into in North Texas, is when you recruit somebody who doesn't necessarily want to be there, they're not bought in. Imagine that. And then you take it way more seriously than they do, and then you have a difference of opinion about how active they should be, or what they should prep, or why they should prep, or so forth and so on, because they're not bought in. They don't really have a vested interest in them being there. You care more about them being there than you do. So be careful about directly recruiting someone. I would look for somebody who wants to be involved first, and then build skill sets from there, rather than trying to find somebody with the appropriate skill sets and then trying to get them involved. Not saying it can't be done, but in my experience, it works better to have somebody who really wants to be there than to have somebody who's just kind of dragging their feet, regardless of how good their resume looks. But where do you find these people? Okay, yeah, you can go get Joe from church and Bob from the office and Susie from the bridge club. Go to gun shows. Go to livestock auctions. I just bit my lip. That's not tremendous. Livestock auctions. You can go to these homesteader shows and agricultural expeditions, tactical classes, church retreats. And depending on what your church is, there's lots of churches that are big into preparedness. I'm in one. They are there. You have to look. You have to go to where they are. I mean, our last meetup, something just bit my leg. Something just jumped up and bit me. Our last meetup was at a Viking festival. There were preppers there, right? Blacksmithing conventions, Renaissance festivals, reenactments, things like that. They are there. And then we'll get to this in a minute, but you don't come out the gate with, "Hi, my name's Bob Jones, and I own 32 cases of MREs, and I have a 5.56, and I have a 2.23, and I know that they're not the same thing, and I have a 308, and my favorite gun is my Barrett 416, and blah, 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 blah." Hi, my name is Bob Smith. I do a little bit of prepping on the side, or whatever. introductory conversations. It's kind of like meeting a hot girl and you're like, hi, my name is Bob Smith and I got a 3.8 GPA in college and I make $82,000 a year and I drive a Saab and I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and I think you're really pretty and I think that we should fall in love and we should date and then we should have beautiful kids and live happily ever after. Do you like this ring that I got you? Like, take it. What's up, girl? My name's Bob Smith. Let's be friends, right? Slow. Start small. But you got to find the people. The APN, Arkansas Preparedness Network, I swear I didn't plan this, but you know, life. The Arkansas Preparedness Network, if you're in Arkansas, you should know them. They're on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, and I know a lot of people aren't, but if you're on Facebook and in Arkansas, check out the APN. PrepperNet is another group. They just send me emails that are like, hey, have you seen our newest course? I haven't met anybody through PrepperNet, but I'm not that active in them either, so maybe I'm missing out on that. Don't know. The DD12 group on Facebook, the Dirty Dozen Post-Apocalyptic Authors group, another good group. They have regional chapters, which is why I bring that up. You know, if you're in Texas, they have a group in Texas. If you're in New Hampshire, they have a group in New Hampshire, so forth and so on. There are resources there. The bugs, they're tremendous. There are resources on the internet. You can look on the internet, but if your tribe is only digital, what happens when digital goes away? So be really careful with that. You have to meet people in real life. So go to where the people are. Another thing that I'm big on is co-opt an existing group, okay? Get into blacksmithing, okay? And your blacksmith group that meets every Tuesday night and you guys are you're banging out a Danish pole axe. Okay, cool. And while you're literally banging out a Danish pole axe, you know, hey guys, this could be a really useful skill for, you know, if there's ever an EMP. Oh man, Bob Smith, are you into that? Actually, I kind of am, and here's why, right? And have these conversations. It's organic friendship. It's organic relationship. It's not just slapping your resume into somebody's face and going, let's be friends in case the world ends. That tends not to work, okay? But co-opt an existing group of a skill set that would be useful, which is most, in a grid down scenario or SHTF or, you know, martial law, civil unrest, economic collapse, or whatever. Like, pick your thing, okay? So, look on Facebook or other online social sites, go to where the people are, or co-opt an existing group, or all three. I like the all three method. That's step one, find the people. Step two, do a meetup. Okay, now we got some people, what do we do? Like, what do I do with these people? Send a bunch of emails back and forth. Get everybody's email addresses and get on a group email and send it. Hey, let's do it on Tuesday the 5th. Oh, I can't do it on Tuesday the 5th. I got a thing, I got a dentist thing. Okay, how about the 8th? Okay, yeah, I can do the 8th, and probably not everybody's gonna be able to make it on the same day. But if you can get above 80% of the people, that's your day, okay? No paralysis by analysis, don't overthink it, just go with it. You know, brief aside, one of the traits of highly successful people is that they're very quick to implementation. Okay, that's good enough, go. Right? If you're sitting around waiting for something to be perfect, you're gonna miss your opportunities because nothing's ever perfect. You know, don't let, you know, sometimes good enough is good enough. So if you get 80% of people who can attend, go. That's your day, right? And it's nothing against the 20% who can't be there, but we'll catch you on the next time. So set a date. Get everybody's emails, start an email chain, set a date. At this date, this is the method that has worked real well for me and other groups that I'm a part of or that I've visited with or that I've interviewed or consulted with. This works. It's not the only way, but it's a way this works. In the morning, start about 10 a.m. and from 10 a.m. till noon, do a block of instruction or 2 blocks of instruction on whatever. Maybe it's basic first aid. And that's a good place to start because I think it's an extremely applicable skill set across all spectrums, all preparedness spectrums, just everyday walks of life. First aid is great. Basic first aid. Do an hour block on basic first aid and then maybe do an hour block on food storage. Or 30 minutes on food storage and 30 minutes on the importance of commonality of caliber. I know that you like AKs, Ron, but we run M4s and here's why. And it's important, if we're gonna all be on the same team, that we all run the same ammunition, blah, 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 or whatever, okay? So 2-hour block of instruction from 10 a.m. till noon. At noon, you eat. Part of your email chain should be who has food allergies, who, you know, what are your dietary restrictions, blah, 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 blah. And then do a potluck thing. Everybody brings some food. You bring the beans, and I'm gonna bring the rice, and Bob's gonna bring a baked chicken, and so forth and so on. Coordinate all that, do a potluck, paper plates, you know, drinks in bottles or glasses, you know, your red Solo cups or whatever, okay? Quick and easy. Eat from noon till 1. And then fellowship from 1 till about 4, okay? So, and eating is fellowship as well. But you're gonna see a couple of things happen. Number one, after you eat, if you try and do another block of instruction, you've lost your momentum and people have lost their focus. It's just not there, myself included. Another brief aside, the first business that I owned, I accounted for, in all of my estimation, 70% of my productivity before noon. We started at 7 a.m. So from 7 a.m. till noon, 5 hours, accounted for 70% of our total productivity on the day. And that's the way I bid jobs. 70% got done before lunchtime. It's kind of basic human natures. You eat, you break your momentum for the day. You might get a few more things done in the afternoon, but nah, not really, not really. So don't force that. Fellowship, and you'll see these little organic groups of people, you know, people breaking into 2s and 3s and talking. So, oh, you're from Jonesville? We're from Bobsville, right next door to Jonesville. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know. I went to one meetup. There were 3 guys that had never met each other before, that were all into preparedness, and they were all within 5 miles of each other. How crazy is that? That's like a Insta team. Boom. Right? And so after lunch, let everybody break out into the organic teams. Have a hard out, and like, listen, at 5, we gotta go. We have to be done by 5, okay? So that way you're managing that expectation. At the event, or the meetup, or whatever, you go. And then while you're there, you say, okay, show of hands, let's pick another day. We're getting together on the 12th of next month, and who's gonna teach what? You're gonna teach trapping, so you're gonna do an hour block on trapping, hunting, scavenging. You know, let's put together a package on that. And then I want you to do an hour block on useful construction items to stock and skill sets to go with it. Okay, cool, right? Because everybody can teach something. Even if they don't think that they can teach something, they can teach something. And it's good for the person teaching, and it's good for the group. So now you go, okay, next time we're gonna meet on this day, we're gonna have instruction on this, and then we're gonna do the potluck thing again, and then we'll fellowship and figure it out the next time around. Try to get together every month or 2, okay? And what does the MAG do? This is like the big overarching, as I see it, the big overarching sphere of, the MAG is regional, it's not local. Says me, this is how we do it. But within the MAG either develops teams or informs teams back when people get back to their local area. Okay, so in some cases you might have 3 guys that live within 5 miles of each other, or 5 minutes of each other rather. But you might also have people that live 4 hours apart. If we're meeting here and one guy lives 2 hours this way and another guy lives 2 hours this way, okay, well they're 4 hours apart. So they're not gonna be much help to each other, but what they learn here, they can take back to their subsequent groups here, their teams here, their local core groups of people, and then you have trickle-down effect from there. So this is force multiplication. Okay, so the MAG is the big regional thing, and then your teams are localized. And so the MAG gets together, and again, you can pull people from your local teams and bring them into the MAG, okay? So the MAG gets together, coordinates every month or 2, get together. I like every month, but listen, life happens, okay? Every month or 2, get together, have a meeting, and then force multiplication, send your MAG members back out into the world to get their people on their teams better. Training, food, fellowship. And then the number 3 thing is you gotta date people, okay? And this is for your team, your MAG, your whatever, okay? You found the people. now they're coming to the mag meetings. You're like, I don't know. I don't know if I like Susie and Joe. Okay, well, let's find out. Go on a date. Man, I think that guy, Tim, I think Tim's okay. Go get lunch with Tim. Go have coffee with Tim or whatever. Here's the key. You go to a neutral place for a set period of time with a hard out. For 30 to 90 minutes, you get together face to face with this person, and you're gonna meet at 1, and by 2, you have to go because your kid has a softball game or whatever. There's a hard out. So it's not, again, it's like dating. If you like the person, good. You can schedule another time to get together. If you don't like the person, hey man, I gotta go. My kid's got a softball thing, and it was great meeting with you. Call me, we'll figure the thing out. And then if you're not good at confrontation, because I'm pretty good at going, you know what, man, this is probably gonna be the last time you ever see me. And it usually is. But most people just don't have that kind of radical candor. So you say, yeah, let's get together, and then, hey, life happens, sorry, thumbs. It's just not gonna work out. Bless you. Okay, cool, right? You have a hard out. That's the first time. The second time, you do the same thing, maybe for about 2 hours at a neutral site. The two of y'all get together. Continue to feel each other out. The third time, with kids and family, smash your families together. Because if you're gonna be spending this much time with somebody, you ought to figure out the interplay between everybody's personalities now while you can, before it really matters. Because there can be deal breakers. You can meet people sometimes and go, you know what, I think that guy's really cool. And then you see him around his wife and you're like, there's a red flag there. I don't know what it is, but I don't like that. Or the way that they treat their kids or whatever, right? So get the families together and do that. And then if you can, kind of like date 4-ish, is spend a weekend together. Like we do mission trips. We do weekend mission trips with people we've never met before. And we don't know who they are on Friday, and by Sunday we love them. And vice versa. It's the way it goes. Because you're building context together. You're spending time together. You're doing it's team building. You're doing hard things together. You're accomplishing big, hairy, scary goals together. It's team building. And you get to see people under pressure. So we do that. We do these weekend mission trips, which is a great way to practice your prepping as well. Can you live out of a 72-hour bag? Go do it. You learn real quick what you need and you don't need. Go camping with people, just for a weekend. Your family, my family, we'll get 2 campsites right next to each other. And it doesn't have to be bushcrafting in the woods with toddlers. Let's just get 2 primitive campsites, hike, 3/4 of a mile in, set it up. Worst case scenario, the car's 3/4 of a mile that way. If there's a torrential downpour or somebody, bruises an ankle or whatever, crap happens, you can bail out. The car's 3/4 of a mile that way. Go do that for a weekend. And you might fall in love with another family, or you might realize, no, thought it was gonna work, but it's not. Now, beyond that, you're in. We love you, you love us, you're in. Okay, cool. That does not mean that I bust out the maps and I go, here's where all our stuff is. These are our radio frequencies. We have exactly this many rounds of ammo. We have exactly this many millions of calories. Our plans are A, B, C, and D to do this, this, and this. We do this, this, and this. We store all this over. No. Some of the closest people on planet Earth to me in here know about 10% of what we have, and vice versa. It should be verifiable. If you tell me you have a year's worth of food, at some point I should be able to look at it and go, yeah, you got a year's worth of food, copy that. If you say, oh man, I got a safe full of guns, show me. Yep, you do, okay, cool. But beyond that, I think there's basic benchmarks, and it's, y'all talk amongst yourselves and establish what your basic benchmarks are. For us, it's line gear and a year's worth of food. Yeah, line gear and a year's worth of food. You're good. You're good. Welcome. Beyond that, if I've got 18 years of food put up, if the tribe needs it, we'll go get it. But not everybody needs to know what I have, where I have it, why I have it. There's a reason that I have multiple different radios. Right? There's There's circles within circles within circles, as my pastor would say. So it's compartmentalization and it's decentralization. Now those are two big words. Compartmentalization, meaning that there's little boxes of information, and you might be privy to this box over here, but you're not privy to this box over here. Or it's called a stovepipe organizational. It's all the distractions out here, right? It's a stovepipe organization, all right? So your chain of command is directly vertical. You know what's in this stovepipe. You're not privy to this over here or this over here. Compartmentalization. So there's, you know, not everybody needs to know everything about everybody. If you trust the person and you verify that they have the basic benchmarks that you've established accomplished, good. Beyond that, I mean, if things get hairy, I'd love it if somebody, you know, hey, did you know that Ron has 3 technicals in a pole barn over there? He's got 3 F550s with mod deuces mounted on the back. I don't know where he got them. No. Yeah, and he's got, there's a 1.5 deuces filled with ammo cans. Good job, Ron. Good job. Like, maybe I don't need to know that until a set time. So you don't have to give everybody the keys to the kingdom. Not everybody needs to know everything. You know, I catch a lot of flack on this channel. There's like, now the entire world knows what you have. Pfft. My best friends don't know what I have. And I don't know what they have. And I like it that way. You couldn't strap me, you know, you couldn't pull a Rambo and strap me to the wall and hook up the jumper cables and fry my nipples and get me to tell you something, or waterboard me, or put a gun against my head, or anything like that. I can't betray information that I don't know, okay? That's something to think about. So, and it does not mean that I do not love the people who don't know this information about me, or that they don't love me because I don't know all their business. On the contrary, what an act of kindness that I can't be put in a compromising situation now because I don't know. So, not everybody needs to know everything, all right? So here's the deal. Here's the 3 steps again. How to form prepper groups. Okay, step 1, you got to find the people. Use the internet to your advantage. It's here for a reason. It's probably not going away unless EMP, CME, or they pull the plug on the internet. Mind control, 5G, man. Find the people. Use the internet. Go where they are, okay? Go where they are, or co-opt existing groups. I really like co-opting existing groups. Step 2, have a meetup. Have multiple meetups. Now that you've found your people, get everybody together. Form an email list, send group emails. When you can get a consensus, 70-80% consensus of people saying, yeah, I can do that day, do it on that day. Get together and develop an agenda. Something to teach, something to eat, fellowship. Repeat. Keep doing it. And use that as force multiplication back into these smaller teams in a local area. And then 3, date people. As these teams go out and you want to grow the mag or the team or whatever, date people. It does not have to be, I mean, in today's day and age, the young people these days, the internet version of courting is, let me snap a pic of my genitalia and send it to you. That's kind of what some of these preppers do as far as trying to form teams. They just, blah, it's all right in your face, and it's like, I don't even know if I like you or trust you. Why do I need to know that? And that's where people get concerned about OPSEC. They know all this stuff about me. Well, why don't you find out if you like them or not first? And then organically develop that relationship from something this big to something this big. So there you go. Find people, do a meetup, date people, and then just keep the ball rolling. At some point, you may have a mighty empire to manage. And again, remember, this channel that you're watching right now started with 0 subs in an effort for me to find people in North Texas to do life with regarding all the prepper things. And we're right at about 37,000 people in a year and a half. So use the internet to your advantage. And I have an extremely robust network of people all over the country now, whom I would trust my life to, whom I train with, whom I know and love. That's not an accident. It came from doing the things. Shalom, y'all.